Welcome to Tap In Reviews. 3 things before we get into this video. Number one, I want to thank all y'all for y'all support. I wouldn't be where I'm at without y'all, and I really, really mean it. Number two, my next goal is 1,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button. Number three, if it's anything you guys want to see on Tap In Reviews, leave a comment, and I'll try my best to get it on Tap In Reviews for y'all. Now let's get into this video. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Tapped In Reviews. Today I got a special guest. Let them know who he is, man.
It's your man, Kamikaze, the Kingmaker, man. I'm in here, man. We finna taste some of this really good liquor.
Oh,
in
yeah.
This thing, man. You know what I'm talking about?
So, today we drinking Uncle Near's, man. So, you done told me you done tried this before, huh?
I've had it on 2 occasions, actually. It's not that old. You know what I'm saying? They just, in the past few years, the Uncle Near's just came out. So, I've had the privilege of being able to indulge on 2 occasions so far. But not past those 2 occasions. So, I'm looking forward to it tonight, actually.
So, this gonna be my first time trying it. And this is the 1884 version.
Yeah.
So, a little bit about this bottle. The 1884 version, they pretty much got this recipe from the descendants of Uncle Near's, and I want to say it was maybe his grandmother, but I'm not sure. But she pretty much tasted it, and she pretty much had like a sweeter palate. So like, out of all 3 of the Uncle Near's that's out, this might be one of the sweeter ones. Not sugar sweet.
I hadn't had the 1884 before. I've had the other versions, but I haven't had the 1884.
You probably had the 1856.
Yeah.
So a little bit about Uncle Near's. He was a slave and he was a master distiller, and pretty much he taught Jack Daniels how to make whiskey.
That is the history. It is indeed. The funny thing about it, we were talking about researching this and looking into it, and when people first started talking about Uncle Nearest, a few years ago when it first came out, I looked into the history and the story of it, and it was just unique because Uncle Nearest was mentioned so many times in the book about Jack Daniels that came out. He mentioned Uncle Nearest several times, and it's funny because when you think about that period of time in Tennessee, and you think about this book coming out in 1963, and neither one of those times were times that was favorable for black folk anyway in this world. So, you think about that, and you think about him giving Uncle Nearest his props, but you think about over time from 63 up until, the story of Uncle Nearest started rising again. We talked about this on how, it appeared that they were adamant about, suppressing the history of, Nearest Green and Uncle Nearest, you know what I'm saying, and that family history, because we all know Jack Daniels has turned into, a multi-million-dollar corporation that has lasted for generations. And for black folk, there's not a lot of instances where we have, product like Jack Daniels that has lasted over the course of generations like that. So, it's unfortunate that, this is just now coming to fruition, but, luckily, the descendants of Nearest Green will be able to live off of this, hopefully, for generations to come, as they continue to build, you know what I'm saying? At least I hope, the scholarship and the things they said they was putting together for it, at least I hope, you know what I'm saying, they are participating in it, man, because, he is actually the person that made Jack Daniels what it is today, and he should have his proper credit. We used to not getting credit. We used to getting the idea stole. That's what it is. But, this is one of the ones that had one of the more happy endings to it.
Yeah. And it was a couple of other things I was looking at in the history. The lady Fawn Weaver, she spoke about how, like, because a lot of people thought Jack Daniels had slaves.
Yeah.
But he actually did.
He did not. He
was a orphan.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy because, like, even though he was white, he had a tough upbringing as well, even though he wasn't a man of color.
Right.
And him and Nearest were pretty much friends. And a lot of people don't know that. And
Well, I think it was significant because in that same thing, they were saying how, Jack Daniels didn't see color, and that he paid his black employees and the white employees the same wage for the same amount of work. And this is funny. This is America, you know what I'm saying? And you can be a white orphan And you cannot have, the best upbringing, but, the path for Jack Daniels to go from being an orphan to being a multimillionaire, of course, was a lot easier than it was
yeah.
for Uncle Nearest at the time. You understand? So, it started out, at the same point in life, but, that privilege gets you to a certain point. Although I read that Uncle Nearest family and his descendants, lived a little bit better than a lot of the black folks did at that time because they was able to make some money because they was a part of this. And the one picture I think that I saw was Nearest Green's son was sitting next to Jack Daniels, and they talked about how at that time black folks didn't really get to sit amongst white folks in that same fashion. So, it's an interesting story at the end of the day. Definitely. But I'm really, really glad that, he's getting his props, for his product at the end of the day. Black folk are some of the most ingenious folks in this country, and we have created and invented a lot of shit that we did not get credit for in this country. So I'm glad that this exists right here. I'm glad it exists.
So I'm ready to crack this thing open. So
let's do it.
While I crack it open, you can tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Oh man, I'm just out here doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, man. Out here, man. Like I said, this is the Kingmaker, Kamikaze. Y'all know I'm repping Jackson, Mississippi, man. Repping the north side of Jackson. Born and raised here. One half of the Mighty Crooked Letters with David Banner. Mr. Buster Head to the White Meat, president of Hourglass Media Group, full service artist management and entertainment consulting firm, executive director of Jackson Indie Music Week, the fastest growing music festival here in the Southeast. Hopefully one day, Uncle Nearest folks, if y'all are watching this, we love to have y'all to sponsor Jackson Indie Music Week. It would be fantastic. Music and liquor go together like peanut butter and jelly. You know what I'm saying? So I think y'all need to be a part of that too. And manage RCA Sony artist Dear Silas, who is also from right out of here in Jackson, Mississippi, representing Mississippi and being an ambassador for Jackson, Mississippi on a huge scale. So make sure y'all are following him and checking out Dear Silas on all platforms, man. Follow me on all platforms, on Instagram, Mr. Franklin 601, on Twitter, Kamikaze 601. Follow me, occasionally I might pop off and rant about a few things. Yeah, it could be music, could be politics, could be anything, man. I'm just everywhere. Just out here trying to have a good time, man, and enjoy life. And I love, sitting around with fellas and, getting to some of the spirits and, drinking some adult beverages.
Oh, yeah.
And, embarking and joining in on the brotherhood smoke, as it were. I enjoy a lot of that as well. So if you have me around, just make sure that you have a few of those things around, and we're gonna have a good time, man. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Man,
so how we doing this right here?
So I done pulled us up, man.
Yeah,
so usually on Tap In Reviews, we try neat first.
Okay.
So usually we'll look at it, see the color, see what it look like, give it a little. We'll see what we smell. Smell like whiskey. Definitely smell like whiskey. But it ain't overbearing, like, at all.
Yeah, so overbearing to me is like when you get that, it's almost pungent, like it'll sting your nostrils a little bit. So this is real subtle.
Yeah.
Which, already indicates to me that it's going to be, really smooth. Which for me, I like my dark liquor. I like it to be smooth. I like for it to be subtle.
What you, I forgot to ask you, what you normally drink?
I normally drink whiskey.
Okay.
I try to stay in the whiskey and bourbon area. I don't do dark all the time because, people that know Kamikaze know that brown will make me clown. But, when I'm sitting around in a chill situation, man, I definitely like to enjoy a nice whiskey or a nice bourbon. So I do drink Jack Daniels a lot. So, that's kind of my
anyone in particular?
I just like the regular Jack
the
Daniels.
black bottle number 7.
The black bottle number 7. That's what I'm on usually. I've had the honey. I've had the apple. Just not really a big fan of those. And I think my palate is just used to the number 7. So I'm kind of just good there. I'm real simple in my tastes. I don't do a lot of mixing. You know, the honey and the apple are for people that might, you know what I'm saying, want to kind of put, you know, some cocktails together. But I kind of really, you know what I'm saying, I'm usually straight. You know, it's either going to be nice, you know what I'm saying, and neat, or it's going to be on the rocks, you know what I'm saying, for me. Like a nice little, almost a little, you know, so you can do this. You want to do this with it right here. You know what I'm saying? That's why you want to get it in there. Yeah.
So we gonna tap this in, man. What you want to tap this in for, man? There's so many things we can tap this in for.
Man, let's tap this in, man, for love and life and prosperity, man, and black power. Let's do that.
Right.
All right.
You can, it give you, to me. Well, I'm gonna let you go first.
So when I've looked up and, you know, kind of looked into whiskey, you know, and I looked into the Uncle Nearest, so the barrel proof here is like your highest proof whiskey that you can get. You know, Uncle Nearest is like your highest proof whiskey that you can get, man. It's like cask strength. So, you know, for me, it's subtle. When it goes down, it's gonna give you that little punch, and then it's gonna kind of pull off you a little bit. Like when it gets right here, it's gonna be like boom, and then it's gonna kind of pull off you a little bit as it goes down, and it's smooth. It's not burning on the way down. It's not like it's kicking its way down in there.
Yeah.
It's kind of just smooth when it goes down. But you know, when you're drinking it neat, that's what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? If you are, you know, and a lot of people, I had a lot of uncles that did this, because a lot of my uncles would, you know, mix their bourbon or their whiskey with a little bit of water. I'm just not a fan of that. You know, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna put it on the ice and let the ice do its work, which is what it's gonna do. And we in Mississippi, so you know, after a while, the ice gonna be water anyway. But you know what I'm saying? A lot of people get it and put some water in it, but I'm just not a big fan of it. I'd rather take it and put it on the rocks, let the ice do its thing, let the ice work its way in. And you know, by the time we do pick that up, you know, that's where it's gonna be with that, man. But neat is when you getting ready, you know what I'm saying, and you ready for it to hit, and you ready for it to hit right off the bat, and you ready to feel them effects.
Oh yeah.
Rocks is when you finna sit a little bit, you finna let that marinate a little bit, let it work its way down.
Man, listen. So I ain't say what I like about neat. So with this neat, it give me a feel of Jack Daniels, so I could tell that it was the same process was used.
I mean, you can tell it's the same ingredients. You can tell it's almost the same thing, which is crazy because it gives you a Jack Daniels
feel.
Yeah, it gives you a Jack Daniels taste. I mean, you know, if you were taking it blindly and you gave it to me, I would think I was drinking Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So that kind of speaks to Nearest Green, and that speaks to his product, because it's noticeable.
Yeah.
You could tell right off the bat. You know what I'm saying?
And one other thing about it, they talked about the process. It's called like the Lincoln County process, where they use the honey maple charcoal, the filter, and I guess that's like really like the main difference between, you know, Tennessee whiskey and bourbon. So with this, I'm a novice when it comes to drinking whiskey. Like, even though I got all this, yes, I am a novice.
Okay, it look like you do a little bit more on the vodka side.
Yeah,
a little bit more.
Well, yeah,
just a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit more.
Yeah, I just review everything, man. So like, this is really like my whiskey virginity. Like, I drink Jack Daniels, but I'm learning to appreciate whiskey and bourbon. So like, I do like this. I can feel it going down. It's not a bad feeling. But,
you know what I'm saying? It's smooth. It's not kicking on its way. You know what I'm saying? Down. That's when you can tell the difference between, you know, some fine whiskey and just, you know, some shit some people finna take because they ready to get fucked up. It's a big difference on the way it goes down.
But yeah, so I'm ready to try this thing on the rocks, and we gonna tap this into Black History Month and Uncle Nearest, man.
There it is, Uncle Nearest, brother. We appreciate you for putting this together and creating this for us to enjoy here tonight.
Amen.
Yeah, see when that icing got in there and it's had a chance to sit in there. It almost tastes like, you know what I'm saying, you done put a cocktail together. It almost feels like a cocktail, but it's just the whiskey and the ice.
Yeah.
which is the sign of some really really good shit for me personally. I'm not a an expert by any means, so don't watch this and run out into me on the street and say, hey man, taste this for me or give me this or what do you think about this. It's not that. This is just knowledge gained over the years of enjoying adult beverages, and I do like to research and read. I'm a researcher, so I'll Google something in a second. My wife says that I am just a big walking wad of miscellaneous information. So when I run into stuff, man, and something piques my interest, I'll Google it. So it's a lot of stuff that I'll watch or I'll read and I'll just learn about, man. So sometimes when I'm drinking and I see people and I watch shows where, they're reviewing wines, like I got really interested in, how people, taste the wine and the different, aromas of the wine and the way the wine is made. So,
I always wonder how a person that's tasting wine, they smell these different dried fruits.
What you call it, the sommelier. Yeah. How they're able to, take it in. So I started as a joke. I started when I be hanging out with cats. I start taking my liquor and I take it and try to smell the aroma. But then after a while, when you start drinking different things, you can actually start distinguishing a few things here and there, man. And that just comes with experience, really, at the end of the day. So, it's not something that you're going to do right off. But, I'm not going to win any contests or be on any Netflix shows, man. But, continue to watch Tapped In Reviews because, you know what I'm saying, they're going to keep giving you the good on, from a layman's point of view, that you can learn about the liquors out there. There you go.
And we try everything. Oh, and make sure y'all subscribe to Tapped In Reviews. And, man, to me, I enjoyed this more on the ice. The neat was good, but like you said, like it's like this feel like I'm at a bar and somebody like, hey, here you go. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, and it's important too because I see, you had a 1 cube. It's important that you don't overdo it on the ice. I tell people that all the time. Like, it's, people will get, I'm a red cup fanatic. You'll see me out with the red double cups all the time.
Yeah.
But most of the time I'm on white liquor at that point. But, you don't put ice all the way up in your cup.
Yeah, because
to take in because you're taking away from the experience. So this is the correct way for you to enjoy your whiskey. For those of you that might be novices that are watching this is the correct way. One cube, bloop, down in there, and then let the
ice
cube do the work. You know what I'm saying? Now he's got the fancy ice cube maker right here that he dropped in here, and I peeped it, and I'm gonna check it out when this goes off the air because I need to get one of these myself. But 1 cube in the middle here, and this is what's gonna give you. That's what's gonna give you, yo. Look at that right there. Oh yeah, that's lovely. That's lovely. It's so pretty.
Buccaneers, I really enjoy this. I forgot to tell people this a 93 proof, so this 46.5 alcohol by volume.
Mm-hmm.
So, man.
So you're gonna get fucked up. In other words.
Oh yeah.
What's it retail?
I already feel it.
What's it retail for?
So this retails for maybe I think this was like 45, 46 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we can round up to 50, but like about 45, 46 bucks. So, you can really find it because I found it, went to the liquor store, it was down the shelf.
Yeah, they got it. It's out now. Like I said, I was saying the descendants, are supposed to be, getting the proceeds off of this now. I don't know if it's black owned.
So, the lady Fern Weaver?
Yeah.
She owns it.
Okay.
So, like, she was a historian and an author, and she was, her word, she was so in love with the story.
Mm-hmm.
She bought the land that they originally started making whiskey on in Tennessee, and she is the owner. Like, of
that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's a piece of black history for you right there.
She's on the eyes too, if that matters to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But
I gotta go back and look at the video again. I think was that the lady that was going to talk to the family.
Mm-hmm.
I think she had like light eyes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, she was easy.
Easy on the eyes.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, she and then she was another interview I was watching. She actually was on Breakfast Club and Sway in the Morning. So I watched those, and it was a good perspective, and seeing a black people vibe. It's just I love watching it.
That's dope, man.
Man, listen. So usually on Tapped In Reviews, we rate everything 1 to 7. 1 being, trash, push it off the table. 7 being, new drink of choice. Perfect. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I chose 7, because 7 is the number of completion.
It is a number of completion. I will right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you, for me, this is definitely a strong 6 for Engineers. It's definitely a strong 6. I won't say that it's absolute perfection, because I'll take a point away, because really, sight unseen, it still gives me a Jack Daniels feel.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna say it's a strong 6.
Yeah.
For me, a strong 6. Highly recommend. Definitely get it. Definitely support it. It is black owned. So if nothing else, on that, get it and support it and make this your new whiskey choice. Jack Daniel drinkers that are watching this right now, highly recommend. This right here, this will get you in the game.
Oh yeah.
And your proceeds that you put on that Jack every weekend, you can put it on Uncle Nearest, and you're going to get that same taste.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to get that same thing, man. So make sure that y'all do that. So
and this actually, the proof is a little higher with this one. So, like, if you get the regular number 7 Jack, that's 40%. 80 proof, and this is a 93 proof. So, like, it's going to take you less to get there. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, think about that, y'all.
Yeah, for those of you that it don't take much for. Yeah, it will.
So, let me give this thing a rating. So, like, I prefer it on the ice. So like if I'm rating it, so like I said, I'm new to the whiskey world. This I would probably lean on that 6 as well, because I don't have anything to judge it towards other than Jack Daniels, because like I like this better than Jack simply because I just do. Yeah. It's just,
if you're a whiskey drinker, you know what I'm saying, that's gonna be your point of reference is going to be Jack Daniels. For me, most of the people that I know that are on whiskey are drinking Jack Daniels and not a whole lot else. Now, they might be drinking some other bourbons, but again, bourbons and whiskey for me, also have a different texture and a different taste to it at the same time. But, Jack is going to be the standard. I want to say the gold standard, but Jack is going to be the standard for me for what my whiskey is going to be judged on.
Yeah. But I really enjoy this, mainly because I feel like when you're doing anything or drinking anything, like just the story alone like makes me enjoy it more, because not to show it any bias or anything, it's just like if something has a story behind it, you tend to enjoy it more. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I feel like this is what it is. It's like when I drink Jack Daniels, now mind you, I'm not a big whiskey drinker anyway, so it's just I'm drinking whiskey. So like I throw some Coke on some Jack in a heartbeat. Yeah. With this, I probably wouldn't put no Coke on it. I probably would just drink it as is.
And I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, without Coke, if you're not cutting it in any way, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah. I feel
that's what whiskey is. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely, if you're not really a whiskey drinker, you definitely gonna need to cut it, or get it on the rocks. If you take it neat 2-3 times, you're gonna be in there. It's gonna get you tapped in right off the bat.
Definitely.
That's for sure.
So since we've been drinking a little bit, usually on Tap In Reviews, I have the guests to share a two-turn story where they then might have a little bit too much to drink or indulge a little bit too much or whatever their vice is. You know what I'm saying? So do you have a story to share with the people?
I tell you, I got so many stories. I'm gonna tell you one of my first stories, man. And this one goes out to Cisco.
Cisco, the food place?
There's a drink called Cisco. You might be a little too young.
I might be a little too young.
So
put me on game.
You know what Fortran is?
Fo what?
Four Loko.
Yeah, I know what Four Loko is.
So Four Loko, Cisco was kind of the precursor to Four Loko.
Okay.
So Cisco was kind of like I don't even know what to call it, except it was just gas.
It was a malt beverage, gas flavored malt
it wasn't
beverage.
It was. So those that know what that Four Loko will do, Cisco was kind of like the precursor to that.
The Four Lokos ain't no joke.
Cisco wasn't no joke. So just imagine for those you I'm a little older. So I come from the age of Mad Dog and Night Train and Cisco. Those are the first things that I started drinking when you were young. I was on student government. I was on the SGA at Jackson State.
Okay.
We were on our way to a football game at Southern in Baton Rouge. We were on the bus, and I started drinking Cisco on the bus. Now, mind you, of course, we're not even supposed to have alcohol on the bus. But we on the bus. We on the bus with Miss JSU and Court and the SGA. And I was senior class president, and the SGA president was on here. We all going, at halftime, we all walk out on the field, so we on the bus. And we drinking Cisco. I'm drinking Cisco on the bus. Being young and being stupid, you on here trying to, poke your chest out and show everybody that you can really, handle your liquor, and you trying to be a big man. Man, I must have drank this Cisco, man. I must have drank like maybe 3-4 bottles of this Cisco that was, like this. I must have drank 3-4 bottles of this Cisco. And when I tell you, I blacked out when it was on the bus. I blacked out. So from accounts of the story that people told me, I blacked out. They had to carry me into the hotel. I threw up in the hotel 2 or 3 times. They had to come in the hotel room and they had to dress me. And mind you, we was putting suits on at the time. So my girlfriend at the time was on the SGA with me. So her and a couple of friends came in the room. They had to dress me. I was face down on the bed. I had to get cleaned off. They had to dress me. They had to put me back up on the bus. When I got back on the bus, I was still knocked out, still incoherent.
Oh my God.
The chaperone and the SGA sponsor, faculty member, was calling the roll. So when they called my name, one of my partners had to act like he was me and say present in the back.
Yeah.
So we get to the game. They help me get up in the stands. I'm sitting in the stands the whole time. Mind you, dude, I am completely fucked up. I'm done. And I'm at this game, man, just completely fucked up. I blacked out for an hour to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Now, when you a drinker, you know about that boot and rally. So I booted and rallied in about the third quarter. I booted and rallied about the end of the second quarter because at halftime we had to go out on the field.
Yeah.
So at some point in the second quarter, after this has been like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours after I had motherfucking blacked out, I was able to walk down. I went under the stands. I threw up. Felt great. Came back up in the stands. Caught my second win. I rallied. We went out on the field. Went out with the SJ, the other chick on the phone. Went out on the field. Did the thing. Came back into the stands again. Had a great time. And that's just one of the times. A couple of my worst times, man, was on Cisco and Mad Dog. Both times I blacked out, but these was in my younger days when you could black out and get an hour of sleep and wake back up again and you go back to drinking again. Of course, you can't do that when you grown. But that was one of the times that I actually tapped in and tapped out in my early day, man. I did a lot of drinking. I've had a lot of experiences, man. You know what I'm saying? I might actually try to put them on a YouTube channel at some point, man. But I got a lot of nights where that brown took me out, man. Most of the instances where I've had most of the fights and most of the accidents that I've had in my cars, and some of the best nights I've had been on that brown.
Man, that brown,
brown gonna make it clown, man. That brown gonna make it go down, is what I'm telling you, man. That's why right now, like, when you usually see me, I usually just drink vodka. Like, I drink some Grey Goose.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I find some nice vodkas. Grey Goose is kind of like my vodka of choice. But I usually stay on the light side, on the white side, because, man,
all right. Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
All right.
Just think about that brown, man. But that brown to make it go down, and
man, listen, man. You definitely was too turned, like, for real.
Man, I was super turnt. But those are stories where you learn. That's kind of where my process learned right there. And I learned in them college years what that Brown will do. You know what I'm saying? Getting in fights, going to jail, being in jail overnight, waking up the next day, not knowing what you done, waking up in strange places, waking up under your bed, waking up, I went to sleep one night, man. I'm telling you, I went to Crystal one night. I went to sleep with a crystal in my hand one night, like this. And I woke up the next morning at 6 a.m. and that crystal was in my hand right there. And my roommate said I slept in my bed that whole night, holding on to that crystal in my bed.
Did you eat it?
Nope, didn't eat it. You know what I'm saying? Just crazy stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that crystal ain't gonna last, man. That air hit that crystal. You know what I'm saying? That sat there all that time. You know you can't eat that crystal at that time. Man. That thing was like a rock in my hand by that time, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta eat that crystal fresh when it come out. That's when I was eating red meat, man. But crystal was like the perfect thing. Like when you got really fucked up, crystals was the perfect meal because all that grease and that sogginess was gonna get on your stomach and it was gonna soak it up. Now you was gonna pay for it the next day at the bathroom, but that night, if you wanted to goddamn get yourself together, man, a couple of them crystals, 2 or 3 of them cheese crystals, and put that on your stomach, man, it's gonna soak that liquor up. You know what I'm saying? That's a little tip for y'all right there. It's gonna soak that liquor up and it's gonna give you a little comeback. You know what I'm saying? It'll allow you to be able to make it back to where you need to get to, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't drink and drive, of course.
Please don't.
Don't indulge. If you feel yourself, you know what I'm saying, you feel it coming down on you, pull over, get you some crystals. If you eat that shit now. But
anything with some grease.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You get some of the crystals, man, down you a couple of those. That's gonna give you the energy you need to make it to the house. And then you go and sit down, man. But yeah, man. So yeah, I was definitely too turned at that time.
Man, listen, I done had my experience with Four Locos. Man, usually if I drink one, I'm in there. The second one, I'm out.
That's why I had to use it as a reference, man. Because like I said, the younger folks know about the Four Loko, but Four Loko I think is a descendant of Cisco. Look up the Cisco. You know, I'm gonna look it up, but I might put a picture on the screen. That's showing what that Cisco is, man. But some of the people that are watching this right now, man, might be able to tell you about this Cisco, depending on if they're closer to my age. But yeah, if you know what Four Loko is and what Four Loko will do to you. And I read about it because people was having the same problem with Cisco. People was dying on that Four Loko, and people was dying on that Cisco, man. I don't know how this shit is getting through. I don't know how they selling it.
It's crazy because I heard in Louisiana the Four Locos are higher alcohol content.
Oh yeah, everything in Louisiana is high. It's funny because everything here when they bring it here is of a lower alcohol content. Back in the day, again. I'm a little bit older than you. When Snoop was first coming out, all the rappers was trying to drink the St. Ides malt liquor.
Okay. And I don't know what that is.
You know what OE is?
Yeah,
Old English?
I know what that is.
All right, so OE, Old English malt liquor. Back when I was on the yard, we was drinking OE, Colt 45 malt liquor, and we was drinking St. Ides. You got to look up St. Ides. Snoop, Biggie, they had all the rappers that was doing these commercials for St. Ides. That was the malt liquor that everybody was fucking with. So when they came out with the malt liquor and they sent it here, when we talked to people that was from other places and shit, and you looked on the bottle, Mississippi had a lower alcohol count, a lower proof count than Louisiana does. I don't know why they did it. I don't know why it was like
I don't even know why.
But they do. They might still do it now. As a matter of fact, I think they might have changed it a little bit. But the liquor proof of the liquor that was coming here, malt liquor, and the liquor that was here was lower than it was in Louisiana. And malt liquor is some bullshit anyway. All of it. It's just the bottle. It's complete bullshit. But we was drinking the fuck out of malt liquor back in the day. Anybody that was around that time, you was around in the motherfucking 90s, the early 90s, mid 90s.
That's I was just born.
Yeah, so we was on malt liquor tough, but it's some bullshit. Like when you actually research what malt liquor was made of, that's why it was so much of a uproar about malt liquor being serviced into the black communities and put into the black communities because it was some bullshit. But the same thing with Four Loko and the same thing with Cisco, man. Like they were just really adamant about putting that bullshit into our communities. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful about that, man. But yeah, that's some of my worst times. So if you know about that Four Loko, then you understand my pain and what's happening. So I just put you up on some game right there, man. You know what I'm talking about?
And man, it's crazy that you mentioned Mad Dog. You know the fruity little Mad Dog everybody used to be drinking.
Yeah, it's fruity. All of them fruity.
I did a review. See, so at the end of 2020, so it was really like a closing out 2020, coming in 2021, because 2020 was a hell of a year.
Yeah.
COVID, everybody.
Mad Dog was
quarantine.
perfect for that shit.
So that was my last episode of 2020, and you know, MD actually stand for Morgan David. Yeah, so like, but everybody call him Mad Dog. And listen, that was really actually one of my first times drinking Mad Dog on camera.
Wow.
And so we reviewed it, and you know, our scale 1 to 7, I think it might have got a 1.5 maybe.
Yeah, that's what it's for. It's 1. It's a 1.5 all day, and the people that make it know it's a 1.5. They not even trying to. They not trying to impress you. You know, Mad Dog ain't trying to impress you with the taste or nothing like that. Mad Dog is trying to get you to pass out on the curb in front of your house. That's what Mad Dog is trying to do. Mad Dog was the first. When I first got on Jackson State's campus, man, as a freshman, that was the drink that all the freshmen would get on. That was the bridge between us getting into the hard shit. Yeah. That was the bridge. You know what I'm saying? Now, you had a few freshmen who they was already classified alcoholics before they got there, but you know what I'm saying? Like, and the reason why is because Mad Dog was like $1.75.
And he's still that price. I bought 3 bottles and I paid maybe $7.
It's a brick of Mad Dog is gonna be this right here. You finna pay $1.75 for that shit. They got the grape, they got the orange. You finna buy that shit, man, and you drink that shit. And I'm telling you, you gonna goddamn go outside and try to motherfucking bite the bark off a tree. I'm gonna tell you. Because it ain't fucking around. So man, you will go there like Mad Dog, Night Train, and Thunderbird. Those are all wine drinks.
I don't know nothing about no Thunderbird.
You gotta look for it. Oh man, you gotta look up Thunderbird. Like
I'm gonna look all these up.
You gotta look all it up, man. You watch this back and go look up Thunderbird. So Mad Dog, Night Train, Thunderbird, all them junts was like under $2 when I was coming up. So right now they might be like maybe $5-6 for you to get a bottle of it, just with the price of inflation. Yeah. But these are cheap. They call them wino drinks because when you a wino, if you ask 2 or 3 people and get you $2-3, you gonna get fucked up because you gonna go to the liquor store, you gonna get them, you gonna drink them, and you gonna motherfucking get really, really fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So for those of you out there that know, y'all got an uncle or a granddaddy that's gonna be able to tell you about Mad Dog or Night Train or Thunderbird, look it up. It'll be a picture online.
Thunderbird.
And I'm telling you, Thunderbird.
Thunderbird, like called Thunderbird.
Thunderbird. You be on the yard, man. When I was a freshman, and nigga come up to you and say, "What's the word?" Thunderbird.
What's the word? Thunderbird.
Cause you know what's gonna happen. Cause you know we ain't had no money because we was freshmen, so we was on the yard. Everybody was broke, so we was trying to figure out how to get fucked up the fastest and fucked up the cheapest. You go to the liquor store and you go in there, and it was always specials for Mad Dog and Night Train and Thunderbird.